So I hope you will join me today as we talk to my business coach, Jennifer Allwood, and she is hosting a virtual event starting on September 13th. And this is my way of kind of telling you about it and sharing it with you. I will be one of the speakers, so let's hear what Jennifer has to say. If you are just joining us, we are having kind of an impromptu live with my business coach, Jennifer Allwood. How long have you been a business coach?
I think, okay, so I'm really bad with dates. Let me just say
Okay.
that. 7-ish, 8-ish years.
Okay.
So I started a decorative painting company in the year 2000. So I've been in business for myself 21 years. But then 7 or 8 years ago, I was like, oh man, I need to shift to the online space. I want to make more money than what I was able to make at that painting company. I was tired of being in people's jobs. I just wanted to work from home in my jammies as I sit here with a blanket on my lap. And so it was 7 or 8 years ago that I started teaching people how they could work from home and how to use their social media to grow that to get more sales. So there you go.
All right. Well, I know that I joined your group. I want to say it'll be 4 years in January.
Okay.
And I joined it and I went all in. I signed up for a full year because I knew that if I did month by month, I would just find an excuse not to do it. But I was in a point in my career that I needed help. It's like you hit a ceiling and you only know how much you know.
Right. Of course.
And sometimes you need a little bit of help. And that's where you came in. I know a friend of mine shared, I can't even remember the quote, but it was an amazing quote. It was around Christmas time because it was January when I joined your group. And it was just really inspiring to me. And now I can't even remember. I wish I could remember it, but I have to go back maybe years ago on your Instagram.
Sure. No worries.
But we are going to talk today about this exciting event that you are hosting, and it starts Monday. And
Starts Monday.
Yep, money, faith, and business.
Yep.
And you asked me to be one of the speakers, so I'm really excited about that, and I appreciate that. That was just a big deal for me personally. But I want you kind of just to tell us why you wanted to do this event. What was the need behind it?
Absolutely. Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me here. Second of all, I have not had lip injections, not that anybody would judge, but we recently purchased a second home in Florida. I was there this weekend, spent a lot of time in the ocean, and my lip is so blistered that it looks like that filter right now, Julie, on Instagram.
It looks good.
It's not even. It's like fatter over there. So anyway, it hurts. So for anybody that's watching right now, I do apologize. Okay. So here's the deal. So, I have a big audience. I have coached somewhere around, let's just say to make even numbers, 10,000 students over the last 7 or 8 years. And there are a group of them that have just kicked butt. And you are one of them. There are a group who've gone to $1 million a year, and many, many, many who have gone to 6 figures a year, multiple 6 figures a year. And then there's some that they've been in my coaching group for a long time. And, I'm teaching them good strategy on Facebook ads and how to make your Instagram bio better and how to use Pinterest, to sell your business and how to do Facebook lives to get more people to watch you. But the truth is the strategy is not really making a difference at all in their business. And what I've realized is a lot of the times a woman's business is not growing because of thoughts she has around business and thoughts she has around money in particular. And that I'm a Christian woman, so my faith is super important to me. And, the Bible talks over 2,300 times about money. It talks about money more than it talks about love. It talks about money more than it talks about heaven. So I think God knew that money would be kind of an issue for some of us. And when it comes to women in my audience, anyway, I have a lot of women who maybe they were not raised with money and they were raised to believe that people that had money were not nice people. So we want to stay nice people, right? So they actually like self-sabotage in their business, almost to keep it small on purpose to stay nice, if that makes sense. There's also a large portion of my audience who are women who, like me, love the Lord. And so they feel weird about charging. So they're doing everything for free. In your case, Julie, I'm sure you know people who are making wreaths and just basically giving them away, trying to be nice. And the Bible actually says that God gives us wisdom to get wealth. It also says that the man or woman that does not take care of their family is worse than a heathen. And so I feel like we have to get over feeling so weird around the topic of wanting to make more money in our businesses. We're in business to make money. If you're not making money in your business, then you have a very expensive hobby. But we need to rethink and just, I want to bring some clarity and some biblical truth to the money conversation so that women can get over whatever hangups they have around money and actually start charging what their product or service is worth, not what they're worth, because you are not your product or service. And I am, the Lord changed my heart about that, because I used to tell women all the time, you need to charge what you're worth. And I'm like, that is a really bad theology. The Lord made me realize a few years ago, just because somebody's able to charge, $200 for a wreath versus $20 for a wreath, that doesn't mean one woman is worth more than the next, right? So it's, what is the product or service worth? And we need to have more of these conversations and to kind of normalize the money conversation, because I do believe that there's a lot of women in both my audience and yours who, if they were to charge more and make more, that their business could change their life and the life of their family and the life of all the people that are around them, that are near and dear to them. They would be able to give more if they made more, because more income means more impact, and it means more influence. And so I want to try to normalize the money conversation for more ladies.
Yeah. And I totally get the whole charging for your time. And if we are to minister to our family, it doesn't benefit our family if we do not charge what our time is worth, because we do take time away from our family.
For sure.
And I share this in my talk, and that'll be up in the event, how I remember praying, God, if this doesn't change the direction of my family's life, then I can't do it. Because I could not feasibly, with a clear conscience, take so much time away from my family and not make the money that would help benefit them.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows me, I've been married 28 years. We have two sets of families within our family. Everybody always asks, oh, is this your second marriage? No. God just decided to give us two very late in life blessings.
Yes.
And so, I have two adult children and I have two young kids. And so the younger kids have more advantages because I bring in an income that has helped change our life. And there's nothing wrong with that. And what I also find really encouraging and helpful is that I can help in ministries that I wasn't able to help before because we didn't have the income to do so.
Yeah.
And that is a huge,
it's impossible to give out of zero.
Absolutely.
And I wrote the book, Fear is Not the Boss of You. And I quote in the book, Grant Cardone, who, our theology, Grant and I, on a lot of things is probably very, very different. However, he had a line that I read in one of his books once that just always stuck with me. And the line is that no, money doesn't buy happiness, but poverty doesn't buy anything. And I was like, oh, that is so true, because I think we've gotten so money isn't important. Okay, that's in what world do you live in? Money is important, and it's not the thing that we're supposed to worship. It's not the thing that we're supposed to idolize, but it does take money to keep the lights on at church, at home, here in my office, whatever. It is the currency of our world. And so when you are able to make more guilt-free, and not being worried about our family and friends going to treat me different if I start making a little more. It's really interesting, Julie. On occasion, I will coach somebody whose business starts selling more. Earrings, cupcakes, wreaths, coaching, whatever. And they'll start selling more and they'll basically back down and kind of shut it off. And I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And they're like, well, I don't know. I felt like people were starting to say, who does she think she is? And, oh, now that her business is making money, she doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. I'm like, okay, then those are not your people anyway. Those are the people that will continue to stay stuck, want you to stay stuck with them. I do believe with all of my heart that if God gave you gifts and talents, which he has to every single one of us, then it's our responsibility to use those on this side of heaven. If he's given you the ability to make money, that you should be doing that within, every way that you possibly can legally, because those funds help do things like my husband was able to come home from corporate America. We're able to buy a second home that we are literally letting friends and family go stay in for free. We're able to help our families, our parents who, are retired, to be able to do things like we were able to adopt a little girl a few years ago. We couldn't have done that without my business. So, I think that there are so many people who are so afraid to get into the prosperity gospel, which is not biblical, that they go into the poverty gospel, which is also not biblical. And so, understanding what God says about money, understanding that God talks a lot about money, and not feeling weird about making it. But also here's my prayer. Lord, I want to make every single dollar that you have for me on this side of heaven, everything that's supposed to be mine, I want. Anything anything that I can't handle, that I'm going to mismanage, it's going to ruin me or my marriage, I don't want anything to do with. But I don't want to like play small and try to keep my business small, or be weird about things, or not take, opportunities, or make a little money. This is what I see women doing sometimes too, Julie. They start making a little money and they give it all away. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's because they feel so uncomfortable. I call it the hot potato syndrome. I did a podcast on this. It's like, especially if you've grown up in poverty, sometimes you get so used to that struggle that you begin to make a little bit of money and it feels so foreign that women will just instantly, go buy a new PC or give it all away to charity, because they don't know what to do with it. It feels so unusual to them. So there's a lot to unpack, which is why the summit is, 10 days long. We do start on Monday. You don't have to be there live. I'll be there live every day at 10 a.m. But I'm really hoping to see some women get free of some things that are holding their business back, because it usually isn't the strategy that's holding them back. It's what's happening here and what they actually believe here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We keep our own insecurities and we keep ourselves from doing it. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it to the glory of God.
Amen.
Be honest. Tell me who is speaking and what can we expect, and
yes.
and who should go to this event? And
that's
and
a really good question.
Learn?
All right. We've got a lot of speakers, Julie.
Okay.
So I'm bringing up some of their names because I'm like, oh, I'm going to definitely forget. And I'm going to tell you not only some of the names, but what some of them are actually speaking on. So I've got women from all different backgrounds who are in all different industries. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. There's also going to be some business training in there. So for instance, Lisa Bevere, who many of you will know, she is going to be speaking. She's going to be probably praying over all the women that are there as well. Christy Wright, who is the female face of the Dave Ramsey Corporation, has an entire training in there. Sandy Krakowski was my first business coach 7 or 8 years ago. She's going to be teaching women about the stock market and how to do stocks. Adrienne Richardson is a woman that I pray with every single Monday morning, woman of God. She has, I can't even remember what her bio has. She's been responsible for like $10 million in the last year in Facebook ads. Like sales for people. And so she does Facebook ads for people that are very, they're making millions a month, not millions a year. So she's giving a Facebook ads training. Bethany Ricks was named in 2021, one of the most influential African-American women in the country or in the world. I'm trying to remember, but her and I are going to be talking about leaving corporate America to be in business for yourself and how hard that is. Jessica Hoddle and I, we recorded a pre-recorded training for the summit yesterday. Jessica came from a very poor background growing up with a lot of trauma. And our conversation is around how growing up in that sort of way without anything and having a lot of trauma affects women in business today. And because we tend to try to compartmentalize our lives and think, oh, that was my childhood and I'm past it now, but it's interesting how things still show up as grown-ups. So Jordan Lee Dooley is a New York Times bestselling author. You've seen her books on the shelves of Target. She's going to be speaking. Edie Wadsworth is speaking. She was a traditional doctor who has turned into a functional medicine doctor, believes in taking care of our bodies, healing things with oils. So she's going to be speaking. Beth McCord is your Enneagram coach. So do you like the Enneagram at all, Julie? Are you an Enneagram person?
I have gotten into it just a little bit.
Okay.
My stepmom is really into it, and we took a road trip across the country, and we were listening to all of that on this road trip with her. Yeah. But I need to delve a little bit more into it to figure out.
So it's fascinating. And so Beth is a Christian. So she's speaking from the Christian point of view, but over 2 million people have gotten on her email list and taken her quiz. She has over 2 million people on her email list on what your Enneagram number is. So her and I are speaking about how your Enneagram number affects the way you look at money. Brooke Riley was one of my students for years and years. Brooke owns Refab. She has her own line of clothing. She's a DIYer. She is amazing. And she's going to be speaking. Who else? Heather Torres is speaking on Facebook ads. Erin Sanderson has a product line. So she used to do coaching for like thyroid health. And a few years ago, she decided to pivot and make her own line of face products. It's called Skin. And she's going to be talking about launching a product line. And then she launched a clothing line. So these are all believers. Blake Gouchette, who's the girl named Blake on Instagram. She's one of my favorite people to follow. She is feisty as you know what. And she's going to be talking about, just the fact that we live in a world right now where sometimes it's interesting what you post on social media and how much should we and be personal and how much should we not. So that just tips the iceberg. I've got so many other good speakers here. Teresa Todd Lugden is speaking. She owns the Women's Real Estate Network. So she had a really late pivot in life. So if you have any women in your audience that are like over 50, which I am, and Teresa, you're really close. Well, the water's fine. Come on in. Right. So Teresa has 3 boys who are in real estate, and they convinced her when she was in her early 60s. So I think she's been doing this for 6 or 7 years now, to get out of her 9-to-5 because she was not going to have enough money to retire and to go into real estate with them. And so she did. And after a couple of years, she decided to start teaching women how to invest in real estate with a course online. And so she has multi-million-dollar launches every quarter. She's going to be speaking. Pastor Shamika Daniels is going to be praying over the event. Dr. Shannon Irvine. So she's a brain doctor, and which I just love that she's into neuroplasticity and how our brain affects our day-to-day, business things. So she's going to be talking about things like, why do we buy a whole lot of courses and then we never do them? How money affects like our brain, and things that are how things from childhood especially kind of get trapped in our brain, and how we can do some rewiring so that we can be free on this side of heaven in terms of how we think about things. So we've got an amazing lineup, and we're going to be having speakers every single day. There's prizes, there's all the things. No, it's not a free summit. And the reason it's not free, and Julie, you've been in my coaching for years, so you'll understand this. I am sick and tired of women working for free. Nobody else on the planet works for free. Your dentist doesn't work for free. Your plumber doesn't work for free. The babysitter doesn't work for free. And I am coaching women constantly. Don't work for free. Yes. And raise your prices, and and be bold and believe in what it is that you're selling. So I need to really lead with integrity in that area. So that's why it's not a free summit. But we have lots and lots of fun things in there. And yes, we start Monday. If you get the VIP ticket, you'll be able to take the recordings with you forever. Otherwise, if you don't get the VIP ticket and you can't watch it live, you can certainly just watch the recordings next week while they're all in there. So we would love to have all of your audience join us.
You don't have to be there when it's coming on. If you work till 5 o'clock, that's okay.
Yep. Watch it when you get home.
And these are not like hour-long talks.
They're not. Each of the interviews with me and the women are like 20 minutes because I know my audience. If there's one thing I know, it's women, and we are busy. And we've got a lot on our plates, and we got a lot to do. And so I know that you women do not have time to sit down for, a 2-hour thing every day. I don't either. And so we kept it tight, but we tried to get to the meat of things and get right to the heart of it very quickly. I want to have impact for the women that are joining us in the summit. I want to just change their mind about something so they can take that back and change their business, so they can change their checkbook, so they can change their life.
Yes. So. And the VIP group is kind of like an upgrade, but that's kind of where you're getting like the extra business training.
It is.
Because I'm speaking on the 15th. I'm doing a live. Yep. And haven't decided what I'm going to do, because there's a lot of different things that I could touch on with social media and what I do. But it's really exciting. I like that it's a 10-day event.
Well, let's talk about how many millions of new things you've got going on Pinterest. Essentially, you took my training and you went whoop with it, and you can be doing the Pinterest training now. That's how amazing your Pinterest is.
Well, it has exploded since June.
So happy for you.
I don't even know. I was telling you, I don't even know how many monthly views. It's 10 plus. And once you get to 10 plus on Pinterest,
10 million. Yeah.
10 plus million, they don't tell you anymore.
Yep. Isn't that wild? It's amazing.
You hit the ceiling. And before I started doing idea pins and TikToks and all that, and I've seen across the board, and people need to understand, if you're on social media, if you're a creative person, you need to be using TikToks, Reels, and idea pins. That's where it's at right now. And you know better than anybody that what was hot last year in social media doesn't mean it's hot now.
That's why I will always have a job, because the coaching always changes. If what I coach on is, social media in my monthly coaching group, but it's always changing. It's crazy.
And that's what's so exciting, because 20 years ago, we didn't have the option to sell on social media.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the platform that social media gives to you, if you use those tools correctly and are consistent, you can get your product out there. And what's exciting is you have people on all sorts of different genres of what they do, niches,
Yep.
real estate. I'm interested in the stock market because
I know, right?
money to be made. And then the whole, like you doing the rentals. I do want to bring up that because we do have a lot of crafters, you need to be
Yes.
following Jennifer Allwood's home account on Instagram.
Oh, thank
Because
you.
yesterday, I think it was, you shared your craft room. And that was craft room goals. Now I would need one probably 3 times that size.
Yeah.
But
It's a mess. We cleaned it up for pictures, but I have 2 daughters, and you're talking about being an older mom. So we adopted our little one. She's been with our family. We got her when she was 4. She's now 7. So between her and the 13-year-old, that room was just trashed all the time with glitter and glue. And yeah, so it is a mess. Yeah.
Into that. So, but listen, thank you so much for being willing to come on my page. And if you guys are interested, I'm telling you, you won't regret doing this. I mean, how much will you spend? And if you're a coffee drinker and you go to Starbucks, how much will you spend in 10 days on coffee or on lunch? Maybe pack your lunch for 10 days and invest in this. And I promise you, you will not regret it, because I think sometimes we just need a pep talk. We need some encouragement, and you're going to get a lot of encouragement over that 10 days. So
it's like I'm going to be giving you a hug, but a kick in the bum as well. Cause I'm like, let's go. I love you, but let's go.
Yeah, and we're going to hear from you every day, which is great too.
Yep. I'll be there every single day. So, and the other thing I was telling, all the women that are in my group, like if you're in business, it's a business expense. I mean, check with your accountant, but it's a write-off. And the thing is, we find ourselves buying this course for strategy, this course for strategy, and this course for strategy. And, if you are like me and a lot of people I know, we do a little bit of the course and then it kind of falls off, a little bit of this and it kind of falls off. And so what we really, I think, need more than a lot more content right now in terms of like, business strategy stuff, is just more the heart and mind things that are actually going to help us finish some of the stuff we've already started, but also fix our thinking about our business, because that's usually what's holding it back. It's not that you don't know enough. It's just that you have reasons you don't want to do it, or scared of whatever, fear, etc. So we're really going to be hitting that hard.
Absolutely. And it's very exciting. So if you guys want to join in, my link is in this post above. So you can just click on that, and I'll leave it in the comments as well. So Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, and I'm so excited for you and your family and all of the things that are happening in your business. So super excited for you. Super proud of you.
Thank you. You had a big part of it. So
bless you.
Right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.